Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 131st Annual CASE Alumni Association All Classes Reunion. My name is Steve Zinram. I'm the Executive Director of the CASE Alumni Association, and I want to take this moment to thank all of our alumni for coming back and experiencing Reunion and experiencing ThinkBox. As is tradition, we'll start tonight's program off with a few remarks from our Dean of the CASE School of Engineering. A little bit of background on Jeff. He's an Ohio native, Cleveland area. He received his bachelor's degree from Purdue University, his master's degree from Ohio State, has a PhD from Case Western Reserve University. And I can tell you that during his time as dean, we've had unprecedented growth in both undergraduate enrollment. He's updated a ton of facilities throughout the campus. He's created ThinkBox under his tenure. And yes, he's shattered every previous fundraising record with the Case School of Engineering. So before I go any further, let me introduce the Dean of the Case School of Engineering, Jeff Dirk.
So thanks everybody for being here. I know many of you have visited ThinkBox previously, and one of the things we talk about is really how this is distinctive in terms of scope, scale, and access. You know, the scope is it's huge. It's the largest design innovation ecosystem on a college campus in the US, if not the world. In terms of scope, one of the things we talk about is the fact we've tried to leverage the entire university into this ecosystem so that those students that have an idea and maybe want to, instead of interviewing for a job at the end of their 4 years, actually convert that into a business. One of the things we need to do is make sure there's an ecosystem that supports those aspirations as well. So having the law school's intellectual property clinic, the Weatherhead School of Management's design and entrepreneurship program here, our own tech transfer office that'll be here on the 6th floor, this is why we call it an ecosystem. And then in terms of access, it's open to anyone. As an alumnus, all of you are welcome to come here and use these facilities. You know, members of the community can come here. Other companies can come here and use these facilities. So we really want to make sure that we as Case Western Reserve University are being a good neighbor and providing economic and other impact on the region. And I think that's one of the great things about this period of time at Case Western Reserve is our openness and support of our role in the community and wanting to be a good neighbor. Now, those of you who have been here before, we used to focus most of our comments on the infrastructure that's here, the 3D printers, the electronics at that end of the building, the laser cutters. One of the great things about tonight is you got to see the other thing we talk about here a lot on campus, and that is talent. You know, the reality of the situation in academia, whether it be at the faculty level or the student level, or even in industry, is we're all competing for the same thing, and that's talent. And the opportunity you had tonight was to see the student talent and how they use a facility like this to really reflect on the traditions of excellence that all of you established as alumni. So thank you guys for establishing that tradition of excellence and giving a role model for these students to aspire to. And I really know that that's something the students really think about a lot. And it wouldn't be possible without the time, talent, and treasure that many of you have committed to the Case School of Engineering, to this facility, to departments, to new laboratories. It's that community, it's that shared responsibility I think that we all have that really makes not only Case School of Engineering, but this university a really special place. And I think as you'll see as we go through the awards ceremony tonight and the recipients, the same reflection of time, treasure, and talents, and how all of the recipients have contributed back to and supported that mission here on the campus. So thanks for all of you for being here. I really appreciate it. I love getting to know you guys, and I'm really proud of the fact that this was the first time we really had a chance to showcase not just the facility, but how our really talented students are using the resources that many of you have provided. So thank you very much for being here, and I look forward to the rest of the alumni award ceremony. Thank you.
So each spring, the awards committee of the Case Alumni Association gathers for the arduous task of choosing the next year's award recipients. Nominations are submitted by alumni, faculty, staff. This year, Ed McHenry from the class of 1967 chaired the committee. Ed, you're in the back of the room. Could you stand real quick? That is not an easy committee to chair. He sits in a room. I just sit and take notes. It's all filled with past presidents. You can imagine they all have their opinions, and they all want people from their eras. So our first set of awards include a true leader of his organization and of this organization. It also includes a rising star within the alumni ranks. She also happens to be working at Google. Let's meet this year's winners of the Samuel Gavelber Award and the Outstanding Young Alumnus.
ShowCASE was influential in my career success in a number of different ways. I, like a lot of ShowCASE matriculates, I think, came from a country high school where advanced math was trigonometry. And I ended up, my first experience with calculus here was Calculus 1 with a professor named Lou Gordon, who is notorious. And anyway, as a result of that, it became pretty obvious that I was not destined for math or physics. So management science was another option, and at that time, this is in the early days of computerization. Linear programming and regression analysis and a lot of the statistical stuff that was being done both on computers and otherwise was really interesting. So I got started in that path. So ShowCASE got me down the path of management in computer science. My wife is a graduate of Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing, and we met while I was here. Actually, we were a blind date with each other. I had had a sequence of bad dates, and one of my fraternity brothers, who lived across the hall from me, was from Pittsburgh, which is the town that my wife is from. And he said, you know, I only know one person up here, and she was my neighbor. She was across the street from me in Pittsburgh, and she's kind of a nerdy person like you, and I bet you two would really hit it off. So why don't I see if I can fix you up with a date? Well, he did, and 47 years later, we're still married. And we had good memories from our time here. You know, the startups in the auto industry, the steel industry, the chemical industry, the oil industry, bred entrepreneurs who were innovators, and they in turn bred other startups. And we, over the last 100 years, have kind of lost that forward thrust. And I think ThinkBox is going to provide a new age of innovation, a new age of entrepreneurs. And I think it's very worthy of support. I think it's an excellent opportunity, and I'm very glad that the university has chosen to pursue it. I would like to thank the awards committee for naming me to this award. This award was actually instituted, I believe, in 1988, which I believe I was part of the leadership of the ShowCASE Alumni Association at the time. And I knew Sam Gavelber, and I'm honored to carry an award in his name. So my thanks to the committee.
Five years ago, I was a rising sophomore who was panicking about switching from biomedical engineering to computer science. Obviously at Google, I have a lot of opportunities to explore, but the best part about working in tech is that technology that I might want to work with 5 years from now might not be invented yet. So I'm at a great advantage being this early in my career where I have time to explore, but I hope 5 years from now I'm working with something that maybe necessarily hasn't been proven yet. After I graduated a year ago, I started at Google. Since then, I'd have to say the biggest part of my ShowCASE education that's helped me thrive there has certainly been working in the co-op office. I started working for the director, Mary Rose Tischer, my very first semester at Case Western the whole way up through graduation. And that office was full of women that wanted nothing else than for their students to succeed. And working there over 5 years really showed me how and why you invest in other people. It's important to actually talk about my co-op experience. That was critical for me to learn the technical skills behind my degree, but actually working in that office and seeing what those women were doing every day, I would say that was a huge takeaway in what I wanted to do in my career, and I hope I'm making them proud in that respect. My message for other alumni would be to lift as you climb. No one has gotten to where they are without help, and supporting student groups can go a long way, whether that's speaking on campus or writing a referral or sponsoring a trip to a conference. Choosing to invest in people and current students creates a ripple effect, and the ROI is typically much bigger than you can ever imagine. Young alumni can make an impact before they even graduate by tackling problems that they see as students. You don't always need to ask or wait for permission, and definitely don't assume somebody else already identified the problem and is working on it. There are plenty of things that need done or can be improved, and sometimes just taking that first step will give you so many supporters and so much momentum than you could have imagined, and it'll take you a lot further than you think. I've been very touched, flattered, and surprised to receive this award. This puts me next to some pretty big names, and I hope that I can continue to live up to it throughout my career.
Presenting the awards to both Bill and Stephanie is Jeff Herzog, the president of the CASE Alumni Association. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Feth and Stephanie Hippo. Congratulations. You guys just turn so you get your photo.
Oh, would you like my name to be readable?
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Very much. They want to go. Our next set of awards are the Meritorious Service Awards given for outstanding contributions to the CASE Alumni Association, the CASE School of Engineering, the Sciences and Mathematics of CASE Western Reserve University, and/or for outstanding accomplishments in their careers. This year's recipients all have strong record of support and leadership for their alma mater and are joined by one of CASE's outstanding administrators and someone we all call our colleague. Let's meet this year's awardees.
My degree from CASE was in polymer engineering, and how it contributed to my success is it was one of the first technically integrated degree areas offered, and what I ended up going into was petroleum engineering. That is a highly integrated, it takes elements of mathematics, chemistry, engineering, rock mechanics. I mean, it's a wide array of different technologies. So that really started me off on a completely different course when I graduated, and that ended up taking me to Prudhoe Bay, and I ended up in the oil and gas industry. I graduated in 1976. It was shortly after the integration of the different colleges, and women were just entering into the engineering. My graduating class, there were 7 women out of 700. So it was really leading edge, and my experiences, but quite honestly, I'm in a very male-dominated industry like oil and gas, taught me very much how to deal with that type of environment. Coming back to CASE and being heavily involved with the visiting committee, and I believe I started on the visiting committee in 1998 and had moved into trying to move closer to starting my own oil and gas company. I felt that CASE had so many technical advantages. It was, from a technology standpoint and teaching methods, it was way ahead of its time. I'm also on the engineering advisory board for the University of Texas, and I see CASE being a leader in the type of think box activities, the entrepreneurial activities that UT is only just starting to think about. I was very heavily involved in competitive figure skating during my period of time when I was attending CASE. And I graduated in 4 years, even though I was skating 20 to 30 hours a week in training. I used to travel back and forth between Wilmington, Delaware, and Cleveland. We'd leave on Friday afternoon after my last class at 3 and drive to Delaware and then come back on Sunday night. It was a very challenging opportunity, but a combination of working toward the skating and being very focused on what you wanted to achieve allowed me to get my homework done in a very concise manner and to learn how to prioritize.
Being at CASE, the first thing it gave me was a great, rigorous engineering education, learning about the process of engineering, how to apply and address problems and move forward with them very effectively. But maybe the main thing that CASE gave me was access to research and faculty. The environment's very informal and open, and as an undergraduate, I got to work on a lot of research projects and things that I learned later that people from other institutions didn't have access to. And even in CASE, not everybody took advantage of them, but it was something that with a little initiative, you could pursue it on your own, and that has made a huge difference to me. Some memories, some of them are hardships, the hard winters, climbing the elephant steps to get up to the dorm and so forth. But I think a memory I linger on a lot is part of participating in a bunch of research. We had a lot of interesting computing labs in the department, and in fact, the school in the early 1970s was part of the ARPANET, which is the thing that is the precursor of what we now know as the internet. And I have a very distinct memory of sitting in there one winter day where, you went in the morning and the skies were clear, and we left in the evening and a snowstorm had happened, and we had not quite been aware that it had occurred. But over the course of the day, I interacted with researchers at Stanford, research labs in Massachusetts. I was working on research that involved software from both those places. And these are people I worked with that I'd never met personally, but yet had a really strong relationship with. Beginnings of what we now think of as social media. And what struck me at the time was how easily all this occurred, and it's all a product of the informality of the institution and the opportunities that it provided. That was a very great time. The campus, I think, has become remarkable in shifting from a regional institution to a much more nationally and internationally recognized institution. If you look at the demographics of incoming students in terms of gender and location, the place has gotten really advanced, far more so than many other institutions have. And I think that's contributing to an improvement of an already great institution and something that's getting recognized more widely. I think we all knew it, but the world didn't always appreciate it. And now I think it's beginning to, and a lot of that goes to the succession of deans that I've had the privilege of working with and the progress the institution's made. So it's a place, I'm really proud to call myself an alumni of.
Well, one of the things you learn at CASE is critical thinking and solving problems, because a lot of the industrial applications where people work are not textbook. So you have to apply what you've learned into unobvious applications to figure out solutions. And CASE's focus on this critical thinking and problem solving was certainly a key factor in my ability to succeed at Procter & Gamble. I have several fond memories of my time at CIT, but the one that stands out was when T. Keith Glennon, then president of the university, who had returned from NASA, which he headed during the Eisenhower administration. He invited Dwight David Eisenhower, former president, to visit school, and I, along with several hundred other students, had the opportunity to see Ike and shake his hand. So I developed an increasing level of involvement with the School of Engineering and the Department of Chemical Engineering progressively from 2000 to the current time. That involvement was important to me because I have several family members who graduated from CASE. My son went to school here and met his wife, and I have a brother-in-law who also graduated here. So we have a pretty strong tradition of involvement with the university, and I thought it was good that I should give back a little bit of what I received in terms of great education. Well, as I mentioned, we have had a strong involvement with our family here. We had a successful career due in part to my education here at CASE, and so I began to give funds to the university in the mid-1990s. So I continued to do that, and then later on, the Chemical Engineering Department asked me to help fund a major lab improvement for the students, which we did a few years ago. I gave a lead grant, and the school was able to use that to acquire about $1 million in funds for what's turned out to be a superb teaching lab for the students. Throughout my entire career, I worked on innovations at the Procter & Gamble Company. Okay, big innovations, things that were groundbreaking kinds of things. So I don't need to be sold on the value of innovation. 2/3 of the GDP of the country depends upon innovation. So it was sort of in my DNA. It's really exciting now to see what's going on with ThinkBox, to give students an opportunity to get a hands-on approach to innovation during their college careers, not when they graduate. This way they are well prepared for their professional careers in academia or industry.
My degree from CASE was a tremendous help, taught me how to solve problems. They work very hard on communications, both written and oral, which I didn't appreciate at the time, which was probably one of the most valuable things they did. And you learn how to work with people. And I'd say finally, which evolved for me even more later, is how to make connections between an opportunity and a problem, because the real value in your workplace really is figuring out what the problem is, not solving it. I was a chemical engineer with a minor in polymers, and I took a couple courses from a character named Professor Eric Baer. And 20 years later, we meet in a parking lot at a country club in Midland, Michigan, go ahead and have dessert, and then started a 12-year collaboration where he got to work on some beautiful new technology we had in material science called Insight. And what we guaranteed him was, I think ended up getting $5 or $6 million of grant money, an AFM, a T-long stretcher, and a couple other pieces of instrumentation. We hired all his grad students. He got to write papers on this stuff and won papers of the year. We got some beautiful science and some wonderful people. And I used to meet in the room we're actually doing in this every 6 months, and we'd have a session where we'd go over what did he do and what do we want to do next. I'm motivated to donate time and money, I guess at the leadership level, to CASE because I had a great opportunity when I came here. I was a farm boy, wrong side of the tracks, first person in college, the whole bit. And I'd love other people to have that opportunity. And if I can help give some money to help have that happen, I think it's fantastic. My nephew is actually attending this year as a chemical engineer, thank goodness. I think it's just fantastic, and I'd like other people to have that opportunity I did. I've been very fortunate. And I have something called SDL, which they don't teach you about in CASE. It's called sheer dumb luck. It's fantastic. If you've had a lot of luck and some hard work gets you the luck and all that, then you're able to give more, great. But even if you're not, giving some back to your place that gave you your start seems only fair to me. And I'm really honored to get the Meritorious Award. I wasn't looking for it, to be honest. I didn't even know it existed. I was just really happy to be able to help out the School of Engineering and the university, and I'm again very flattered that somebody would think to give it to me. Thanks so much for the people who put me up for the award.
I came here and interviewed in July of 2009, had a chance to talk to people, get to know the university a little bit, and was very impressed with the quality of the university and quite honestly was surprised that we didn't have a larger applicant pool, didn't have greater reach across the country. And so we started to reach out more across the country in person by going out and visiting high schools, and through direct mail by contacting students. I wasn't surprised that students would be as interested in the quality of university that we are. We now get many thousands of applications. The Case School of Engineering have more than tripled, close to quadrupled during that time. And most importantly, the students who actually come to Case Western Reserve have increased by about 80%. If you go back to 2009, we were enrolling 300, 350 engineers in the engineering school, and now, this will be the 5th straight year that we will have enrolled 500 or more engineers. It's really a team effort. I've been very fortunate. I've worked at other really interesting, committed places. One of the things that surprised me when I came here was how invested not just the admissions office was, but also faculty in the school, deans. And so, yes, we have increased outreach, we've increased the number of students who come and visit campus, but we've had a great partnership with the deans, and specifically in the Case School of Engineering, where we've really gotten faculty involved. The engineering school has really rethought how they interface with students and parents, how they tell their story during campus visit days. That's a really key piece. We can draw attention to the university. We might even be able to get them to apply, but at the end of the day, they have to show up and see the substance here. And because of the great partnership, they see the substance and we see the impact that it's had.
Dean Dirk, if we could have your help, Jeff. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Meritorious Service Award winners. If you could come forward to get your award.
Both of us in there? There was you in the middle, Myra.
More the merrier. Thank you so much. Sure, congratulations. Thank you very much.
We're gonna sandwich it. Okay. Congratulations. Thank you.
You got this all figured out. You're always pushing me around.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Breaking the code here, a few people. So now let me see if I don't mark this up.
That's all right.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Sure. Oh, there we go. All we gotta do is stand still, right?
Now we're gonna do yours.
The Lifetime Service Award is given by the Office of the Dean of the Case School of Engineering. This year, that recipient is Russ Warren. Let's take a look at Russ's video.
Contribute to my business success because I think the program at Case taught me to think conceptually and to solve problems. It also gave me an opportunity to show leadership, and that helped me, enabled me to get into graduate business school, where I was able to succeed. I've always thought of engineering, my engineering background, as an advantage. One of my special memories of being at Case occurred in my sophomore and senior years, where in the sophomore year, the Russians launched Sputnik, and the American scientific and educational community just was stunned. So the next physics exam we had was unbelievable, And it turns out that the questions had been taken from the master's program. But eventually things calmed down, and when I was a senior, CASE hosted the presidents of 5 Soviet universities, and I was paired with head of the Byelorussian University at Minsk for an evening of dinner and theater at Karamu. At the end of that evening, my associate gave me a pin that was a Sputnik pin, so I thought that was quite interesting. Well, for 10 years I ran the M&A practice at Ernst & Young. Then I founded my own firm, and I must tell you that starting your own firm is a little bit scary, but with the support of my wife and everything, we got that off the ground, and it was had a successful run and is now part of EdgePoint. My whole career, we had one mission, and that is to help the owners of privately owned companies successfully transition their business. I get a great kick out of seeing that done successfully, and I get to enjoy that over and over again. So when you enjoy what you do, it's really not work. The Case School of Engineering has a great leader in Dean Dirk. We also have great students and a great faculty, and with support from the Capital Campaign, we can do great things. The visiting committee is advisory in nature. Our members have diverse backgrounds which can contribute to the ideas that the dean is considering, and I'm proud to be part of the leadership of that initiative. When I learned of receiving the Lifetime Service Award from Case School of Engineering and the dean, I was totally surprised and deeply moved. Thank you very much.
As Jeff gives the Lifetime Achievement Award to Russ, a little note here, the award itself was made by Jason Bradshaw. He's the design and manufacturing specialist in the engineering student shop. So, very unique.
It's heavy.
Our final award for the evening is the Gold Medal Award. Our recipient is a very humble and very modest individual. But the committee recognized that this individual, his research has helped humanity worldwide. Let's learn more about Professor C.C. Liu.
I have been going to teaching since I graduated, and my degree helped me in my teaching career, particularly major in electrochemical sciences. I was a first graduate student of Professor John Angus. He advised me, mentored me in my research and academic programs. I respect him very highly. So in 1978, I received the opportunity to come back to work alongside with him as a colleague. That's most exciting. I've been graduate student since 1963, and then I have been in teaching as a faculty for the last 38 years. It surprised me, I already spent close more than 40 years on this campus.
One thing I find really special about Dr. Liu is that he gives you a research project right off the bat. He trusts you to make up your own concentrations, run the experiments at your own pace, and if you need any help, he's always there to guide you through the procedures.
Well, there are two occasions which I'm very proud of in my career. In 2003, I was given the Presidential Excellence Award in mentoring high school students in science and engineering, which was given to me at White House. The second opportunity is when in 2013, I was elected as a distinguished university professor at Case Western Reserve University. I think these two occasions suggest me that my goals as education and mentoring have been achieved.
So one of the most important things I've learned while doing research with Dr. Liu is that it's okay to have to adjust in what you're doing with research. You have to kind of adapt to certain situations. You don't necessarily get to see the results you want on the first try.
Well, I will continue to teach and do research. In my research, I've been focusing on detecting different biomarkers for various diseases. So there's a lot of opportunity in my future research career. I think the most remarkable thing I see is the students these days are very smart. They are very intelligent and always very challenge your thinking. I think they're much more innovative compared to my generation.
I guess one of the biggest things I've learned from Dr. Liu in my research experience is how to communicate effectively what I'm researching. He's put me through poster presentations that have really helped my communication, writing those protocols. He really stresses and pushes you to effectively communicate what you're researching and understand it thoroughly.
I am honored and humbled to receive this award. Thank you for the generosity of ShowCASE Alumni Association. And also, I would like to say, through ShowCASE Alumni Association, I received the Wallace R. Person Endowment Fund for 13 years. This is a luxury that allows me to have the freedom and flexibility to do my research. Finally, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my students, because based on their hard work and support, I will be able to receive this award today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Gold Medal Award winner, Professor C.C. Liu.
Congratulations.
We have one more piece of business to attend to, and as you can tell, there's some students back here who want to know, some information. So here to handle this is Jeff Herzog, class of 1979 and president of the ShowCASE Alumni Association. Jeff?
Yeah, it's an honor to be up here to hand out these awards, but I'm not really sure I drew the short straw on this one, because there were some excellent presentations and projects that the students did up there, and I was impressed. I don't know how we picked them, but that's the rules. We're going to pick the winners. But one thing I'd like to do is just thank the Alumni Association, Steve and his team, for pulling this together tonight. And it's been a lot of work, Kelly and Terry, and I hate when I do this because I'll forget somebody. So can the members of the Alumni Association staff stand up and just get a little bit of a recognition? Corey? Are y'all back there? Rachel? Thank you. Tom? So I've been around these people getting ready for this. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of things going on, and of course a lot of us wait till the last minute to put in our reservations and things like that. So, and also Jeff Durek, you're just doing a great job. I mean, this is really, this is what it's all about, and this is why the ShowCASE Alumni Association exists, is really to support what's going on at this school and what these students are doing. If I could, I'd love to get in a time machine and go back and do it again. I mean, this is really something, and that's why ShowCASE needs our help, and they need, just like Jeff said, they need our, not just our treasure, but our time and talent. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of very successful people in this audience. It's kind of amazing, like Mike back there has been all over the world, and Myra. just people I've talked to tonight, I don't want to leave anybody out, but you've done some wonderful things in your careers, and there's a lot of things you can do to help these students and help them get to where you were, but maybe a little bit quicker, and you'll learn something from it. So take the opportunity to spend time with the students, talk it up, let's get some other people involved with this thing, and keep working on it. But there's a lot of good things happening here. It's really amazing, and you should all be applauded for that. So the winner of the best student group, excuse me? Oh. Robotics, CRW Robotics. There you go. Yeah.
Thanks.
There's instructions in there. Oh, I think they want to get you. Yeah.
Oh. What?
Oh, she doesn't want to.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I'm sorry. Walk that way?
Oh. Careful. That thing will be on Mars in a couple years, believe me. Okay. The best student startup or potential startup is Zyla Foxland. Congratulations. Congratulations. Whoop, whoop.
Are we?
Not very good at these pictures. I don't know if you saw the press articles, but Zyla was just at the White House a couple weeks ago, I believe, right? Receiving an award from the president. So that's a big deal. All right, best overall student innovator, Zyla. All right, there you go. Okay, so thanks for everybody for voting and taking a look at the demonstrations and the projects, and especially for talking to the students and spending time with them. So I think that's really important, and I don't know if they'll be around here after we break up here, but if you could spend time with the students, it's really worth your time. So I think I turn this back over to Steve to kind of wrap things up.
Yep. Just a few housekeeping items. The bars and the food stations are going to be reopening, including a dessert bar back up on the 5th floor where the students were. That'll now reopen. The students, some of them are going to stick around and be up there. For photos, if we could, the student groups who are still around that won awards tonight, Zyla, that means you. I'd like to get a photo with Susie Nagorny from the foundation along with Jeff Herzog. All of our award winners, if you could move forward, we'd like to give just another couple set of photos. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Case Alumni Association and the Office of the Dean of the Case School of Engineering, thank you for attending the 2016 Dean's Innovation Showcase and 131st Annual All Classes Reunion and Ceremony. And one other announcement, if you're interested, with 2 outs in the top of the first, it's still no score, Blue Jays, Indians.